All right, this is Mrs. Jolton, and I just wanted to clarify a couple things before you start your 2.6 assignment. There's a couple of phrases that I want to make sure we understand. When you see is less than, that means the less than inequality symbol, okay? When you see is greater than, that means the greater than inequality symbol, okay? The key word there is the word is, okay? Is less than, is greater than, those mean an inequality symbol. However, when you see just the phrase less than, that means you're going to subtract from something. So you're going to have, we'll go through an example in a moment. And then greater than, if you have that phrase, it means add to something. So here let's take a look at these two examples. 5 is less than a number. So 5 is the number 5. You see is less than, that means the less than symbol. And a number is whatever you defined in the problem to stand for a number. I'll use n in this case. All right, so that's with is less than. Let's look at an example with just less than. If we have 5 less than a number, that means we're going to subtract from something. So this 5 is going to subtract from something. We don't know what that something is. Okay, 5 is less than. Okay, so I put the subtraction sign there. And a number is what we're subtracting from. So a number goes first. So we're taking 5 less than a number. We're taking 5 away from a number. Okay? All right, so with those clarifications, I want to go through the examples on the back of your 2.6 notes. We're going to define one or more variables and then write an appropriate expression, equation, or inequality. All right, so right away we start with an expression statement that says 9 less than a number, and we see the less than part. Okay, so 9 less than means we're going to subtract 9 from something, and that something is going to be a number. Okay, in this case, I'm going to let n stand for a number. Okay, so we have n minus 9. 9 less than a number. The second example has 6 is greater than the product of 5 and a number. So I'm going to start with 6. And then I'm going to read the next part, which says is greater than. Remember, is greater than means the greater than symbol. The product is talking about the answer of a multiplication problem. So we're multiplying two things together. The two things we're multiplying together are 5 and a number. And again, in this case, I'm going to say n stands for a number. Okay, so we're multiplying 5 times a number. All right, next example. "12 is 5 greater than the quotient of a number and 7. All right, so again, we're talking about a number. And if you choose x to be your number or a different variable, that's fine. Okay, but again, I'm going to choose n for a number. And I'm going to start with 12. Okay, easy enough. Then we have is. Okay, now it doesn't say is greater than right next to each other, like as 3 words right consecutive. So is in this case is just going to mean equals. 5 greater than means we're adding 5 to something. So we're going to add 5 to something. And what we're adding it to is the quotient of. The quotient of means we're dividing something. So I'm going to put my little fraction bar there for division. And the two things we're dividing are a number, which is n, and 7. Okay, so our expression looks like this. 12 equals n divided by 7 plus 5. Example number 4. Excuse me. Again, we're talking about a number. So I'm going to define my variable. All right, so we start out with 6 increased by half of a number. So 6 is going to be increased by something. So I'm going to start with 6. If we're going to increase by something, that means we're going to add 6 increased by, and what are we going to add to it? We're going to add to it half of a number. Okay, half is that part right there. Of, hopefully from the video, you got means multiply. And then a number is my n. So 6 plus 1/2 times n is our final expression. For number 5, we're looking at 7 less than twice a number is no less than 4 plus that number. So number appears twice, but in both cases, n is going to represent it. All right, so we start out with 7 less than. All right, if you think back to that first slide, 7 less than means we're going to subtract 7 from something. Okay, what we're subtracting it from is twice a number. So if you want twice something, you're going to multiply it by 2. So twice a number is 2n. And then we see is no less than. Okay, this can be tricky. Is no less than means it's not less than. So that means it can be greater than or it can be equal to. So if it's not less than, it's greater than or equal to. And then we see 4. And the next one is pretty obvious, plus. And then that number is the one we defined earlier as n. So 2n minus 7 is greater than or equal to 4 plus n. Last example, number 6. The difference of a number and 8 is at least 4. So again, we're talking about a number. And we're saying the difference of. So if we're finding the difference of something, that means we're subtracting. Okay? The two things we're subtracting come right after it. We're subtracting a number and 8. Okay? So a number and 8. Then it says is at least. At least, at most. Those are words that mean inequalities again. So is at least means at least 4. The lowest it can be is 4. So if the lowest it can be is 4, then n minus 8 has to be greater than or equal to 4. Okay? My suggestion as you work on your homework is that you underline or box in certain things that you know go together, where that makes sense, kind of like I did, and please refer to the back of the sheet as you work on that assignment. Okay, and if you have questions, we'll talk about it in class tomorrow. Okay, now Reese has been here watching this video, and if you know Reese, it's hard for him not to say anything. So he's got one thing that he wants to say to you before I end.
How did you like it? I hope you liked the video.
All right, thanks. Enjoy the rest of your class.